following podcast contains drinking, so we suggest you drink along with us. God knows it'll be more entertaining.
Crack open a beer, because it's time for 2 beers, 1 cup.
Note to self, remember, no matter how bad life gets, there is always beer.
Drink along and tweet at us during the show at 2 beers, 1 cup. Now, let's drink.
What's up? That's right. What is up? It's 2 beers, 1 cup. My name is Gunner. Hopefully you're doing cool, man. You're having a good time. Check us out on Twitter. It's at 2 beers, 1 cup. Now, I've been saying it for a couple weeks. We're getting a lot of interest from breweries all around the country and even up in Canada that want to get involved in the podcast 2 beers, 1 cup. If you do, if you work for a brewery, something like that, and you want to be featured on the show, just send us, drop us a message on Twitter. Like I said, it's at 2 beers, 1 cup. We will get it flowing. And today, one of those beers. Now, I did reach out to them, see if they wanted to, send anything our way to see if it was something they were interested in. Trapp Brewing. These guys out of Stowe, Vermont, they hooked it up, man. Last week, I actually got a box sent with a bunch of different beers. They do 12 different beers. They sent me a few of each. So today, we're definitely going to feature one of them and probably going to do another podcast featuring a couple more of their beers because from what I've sampled thus far from Trapp, great stuff. But let's talk about this first. Trapp Brewing. Their Twitter says, by the family that inspired the sound of music, made with pure Vermont spring water and the finest traditional ingredients within the laws. Well, I love this, man. Number one, the label is super cool. They got the Trapp crest, I believe. It's got an elk, it looks like, on there. And today, we're trying out a beer that I'm pretty excited about. I haven't sampled it yet. Like I said, they sent 12 different ones, so I definitely tried not to break into all of them before this podcast, which is such a tough thing to do when a bunch of different beers show up to you. But I do want to say thanks to the Trapp Brewing crew for sending out the beers. I know they probably get a lot of whack requests when it comes to getting samples and stuff, and by no means was I looking for a whole massive handout, but they hooked it up. So we are going to try their Trösten lager today. It's a 6%. It's according to the bottle here, it's German for comfort. Their Trösten is a smoked lager full of Gemschu. I can't even say that word because I'm not German, but that's okay. It's German for comfort. Their Trösten is a smoked lager full of flavor. I have yet to sample this. Let's take a sniff. Oh, it's got a good smell to it. Like I said, I haven't dived into this one yet. I did sample a couple of their other ones because it is tough. Like I did mention, it is tough when a whole crap ton of beer gets shipped to you and you don't expect it. Like on this podcast, when I do reach out to breweries and stuff and I just see if they want to be featured on the show, I just expect a bottle of beer or two in the mail, not a whole 12er of a bunch of different. I felt like I was in the Beer of the Month Club real quick, and it was a good feeling. So once again, much appreciated. VonTrappBrewing.com. Check them out. First things first, great smell to the this beer we got, right? The Trösten lager. It's a dark beer at 6%. It's a lager, but it does look like it looks like that much more. I feel like there's a massive surprise waiting for me within this gigantic mug of beer, which I feel like it's appropriate. I always drink out of my giant beer stein. It's always the Oktoberfest one, the Hooters one. I came across a Hooters one the other day up in the cabinet. I should bust that out too, but I am drinking out of the Oktoberfest one, which is so appropriate for the family that inspired the sound of music. Cheers to it. It's the Trösten lager, Trapp Brewing. Let's check this out. That right there, and I'm not just blowing smoke here because they sent it to me for free. It's got quite the taste there. You're really getting a lot of different flavors in there. I mean, like I said, it's a dark beer, so I expected it to be overwhelming and just kind of tough. But in all honesty, that is a very smooth beer. I was expecting the worst there, and that was a delicious beer. I need to take another sip. Hold on. Yeah, still tons of flavor in that, and it's, at 6%, it's not, you don't taste the alcohol in it, which, as dark as this beer is, I was actually kind of concerned that it was going to just be overwhelmingly, strong when it comes to that. So that's a great beer right there. And when it comes to these guys, it seems like they really do have the whole German market really kind of covered. They definitely do really, they definitely are. I mean, like I said, it says brewed on the grounds of Trapp Family Lodge. This lager is crafted with the finest traditional ingredients and the pure Vermont water. A little bit of Austria, a lot of Vermont. See, I like that these guys, okay, Von Trapp, famous name, obviously inspired one of the biggest movies of all time, and they're embracing that, I mean, how many years later, 75 years later, these guys might be trying, not to be doing that, and it's awesome to see that these guys totally just grabbed onto it, grabbed the brass ring, if you will. Now, looking at everything they got going on, I got some of these other ones in the fridge too, so maybe we'll have to bust out another one of these on the show while we're doing it. But they got the Vienna style lager. I definitely drank all of those. When I opened the box of beer, I was actually with Chow right before we recorded the other podcast, and he's like, I'm from Vienna, South Dakota, so I need to try one of those. I'm like, I wasn't planning on sharing this box of beer with you, but I mean, that's what you got to do when you get a giant shipment of beer. You got to share it with your bro, I guess. So they sent the Pilsner too. I've yet to try that. So a lot of different kind of beers here, but like I said, we're drinking the Trösten. See, I'm trying to get the Austrian, the Trösten. So we're gonna sip some more because this is really delicious stuff. And honestly, another thing I do like about it is I can see myself at 6%, because, darker beers, sometimes you have one, you're full, and 2 beers, 1 cup. Obviously, we got 2 in 1 cup, but I feel like I could have maybe 3, 4 of these, obviously not driving anymore, but I feel like I could sit and drink a few of these and still manage my business. And what I've noticed about the other beers that they sent me with Von Trapp Brewing is it's a wide range. They had from the 5%ers, and the Pilsner was fantastic. After I polish off this Trösten, I'm going to probably bust out that Pilsner, and we'll sample that really quick before we wrap it up, because, now I'm just... when it comes, it's just so flavorful, and it's really good. And now, am I saying all this because they did send it for free? No, actually, it is really good beer, and that is the thing with the podcast. I mean, this is one of those things where so far on the show, it seems like we've been doing a lot of more Midwestern stuff because that's what is in my region. It's regional. I go to the store and I look on the shelf, and a lot of the stuff is Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. I know we did try some stuff from Montana, but it's like, kind of been taken out of the region. So I like this because it is out of Vermont, and it goes to show what other breweries are doing out there. So if you're ever in the Vermont area, you definitely got to check it out. Yeah, now I'm looking at their website. They got a really cool website, just trappfamily.com, it looks like. All right. No, vontrappbrewing.com. And I just clicked on visit us, and that takes you to trappfamily.com. And they do a lot of stuff. They got like a lodge where, can you stay here? This place looks like something. Actually, it's kind of funny because this does look like something straight out of The Sound of Music. I mean, the hills are alive at the Von Trapp Family Brewing Lodge. I would think you have a couple of these Tröstens and yeah, man, you're going to be singing all sorts of stuff, which is kind of funny when you think about it. I wonder if you stay there, if they're just playing The Sound of Music all the time. Because why wouldn't you just, if you're going to embrace it and go as far as brew the beer, you got to go the full route, I would think. They've been around since the early 2000s, so they've been doing it. They've been doing it for quite some time. The head brewmaster has been there. J.P. Williams has been there since 2012, so it's a pretty consistent-looking team they got going on, which is great. So where exactly do the Von Trapp part of it come in? Let's see. It was more than a decade ago when Johannes Von Trapp started thinking about starting a brewery at his family's lodge. Okay, so he had the dream to brew an American version of the tasty lagers he enjoyed so much during trips to the countryside near his ancestral Austrian home. See, that's cool because he's taking a little bit of his home, bringing it where his ancestors are from, bringing it to where he lived. That's cool. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, especially when you got a rich family history like that. You bring it all with you. You tie it all together. Bam. Von Trapp Brewing. We got to drink more of this stuff. Yep, that is such a tasty beer. I wonder how often during the year they make it. Where can you find it? Hold on. Okay, so their lagers are available in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. So this is funny because I live in Fargo and I'm drinking it. This is the beautiful thing about this podcast, and this by no means is this podcast just like self-soothing me and wanting. I mean, I do want to try all these different beers, and that's why I love the fact that these breweries are so awesome to work with because they will send you samples because they want to be on the show. But like by no means would I ever try this beer. I've been to Vermont. I've been to New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I've been out there, but like, well, I don't have any plans to go in there anytime soon. So even to like come across this would be almost impossible for me. So really huge props for them for sending the samples out. Like I said, I still got some other ones in the fridge, so we're definitely going to have to feature them again on the show. Let's check in with the Trösten Lager. See, that's when you know it's a good beer, because now I'm really bad at accents. Something you'll learn about me throughout the time we do this podcast. Really bad at accents. Really excited though, because I'm excited about trying beers from around the world, really just around the country. But see, that's the thing with this beer. It seems to me on the surface, with the label, with the website, with the flavor, with the color of this beer, the Trösten Lager. I mean, it is really coming across like something straight out of Europe. I mean, it really is. And to me, looking on Beer Advocate, it seems like this beer, it's gone through a couple phases, because back in 2010, it was at 5.6. So I'm definitely starting to think this is a seasonal beer, their black lager. Starting to think this is kind of seasonal, because every year, everything I'm coming across, it makes it seem like it is slightly different than the year before, which is cool. I love beers like that. The color, it's so dark that, like I said, it's really kind of a surprising little treat in a glass, because beers like this, a few years back, I did the Ben Paddle Double Black, which was just insanely awesome, but that was a double. But I feel like this was a very similar brew to that, and that was a seasonal as well. I'm not comparing the two beers on flavor or anything else, but I'm just saying, like, color wise, this is right there with it. Yeah, and as far as comfort beer, I love the fact, like I said, on the bottle it says German for comfort. This beer's making me comfortable, and I like it. You can kick back. I could see myself just kicking back, watching some any kind of sporting event, and just sipping on this beer. So cheers to it. Yeah, I definitely appreciate this beer. Like I said a million times throughout this podcast, I cannot thank the Von Trapp Brewing crew enough for taking the time out of their day to, send a guy beer who just sends a message on Twitter saying, hey, thanks for the follow. If you'd like to, send some samples out, that would be, I'd appreciate it very much. You never really expect anybody to ever get back to you on that. So I really do appreciate the fact they took the time to really hook me up. And on the package, it was awesome. It said on the pack, I don't know if they had to do it because of laws or whatever. I probably shouldn't even say that, but on the actual package, it said, not for human consumption. So, I mean, either they didn't want anybody to steal the beer, or they really didn't want anybody to know what was in it. But it's like, man, that sounds even scarier. It's like, what's in this package? It's like a not for human consumption. What kind of chemicals are in here? But really, at the end of the day, it was just a bunch of awesome beer. And they sent me the Pilsner Lager, the Hells, the Trösten, the Vienna, and it's really cool. Like I said, very appreciative of them taking the time. And if you're ever out in Vermont, definitely check them out, because what I just saw on their website as far as like their location, and I mean it legitimately seems like an Austrian vacation site. Like you could go there, kick back, drink their beer, sing "The Hills Are Alive." These are a few of my favorite things. This beer is some of my new favorite things. I mean, that right there tells you Von Trapp is more than just, you can tell it's more than just a crap beer to these guys. It is honestly, it really does appear to be their way of life. And I appreciate it, man. They totally seem to have a really good thing going on. So if you're ever out in Vermont, check out trappfamily.com. I say try to, they got all sorts of different room types. It's Australian-inspired lodging, which means I'm going to read. See, now I'm just doing a plug for travel. This is great. Situated on a 2,500 acres in beautiful Stowe, Vermont, Trapp Family Lodge is a unique mountain resort featuring Australian-inspired architecture and European-style accommodations. Their lodging offers stunning mountain views, old-world comforts, and impeccable service, along with activities for every single season. That's beautiful. See, the hills really are alive at the Von Trapp Family Brewing Company. And they seem to have you covered, man. It's not a brewery tour. It's not a tap room. It's a vacation. And you can just do it in Vermont. So fly to Vermont. Check out vontrappbrewing.com. I have to rate this beer. And, for what it is, this is good. It's good stuff. For what it is, the Trösten Lager, 6%. It's a dark beer. It's got good flavor. Actually, it goes down really smooth. It's German for comfort. And I'm feeling comfortable after my glass has been polished off here. So we got to give Von Trapp Brewing their Trösten Lager at 6%. We got to give it the 2 beers, 1 cup, 9 out of 10. And like I said, this one was kind of tough because I want to just give it a 10 because they mailed me a box of beer, and I'm now a forever fan of Von Trapp Brewing, and I love what they're all about. I love what they do. Their website was fun to look at. Their different beers. I got the Pilsner in the fridge. We're going to sample that on a different episode of the show. And I really just think that they got the shit together, man. They got it all. Like I said, if you go, it's not a brewery tour, man. You can go there and stay and experience the mountains, and the hills are alive. And see, Sound of Music, man. For the family that inspired the Sound of Music, they did not have to do this. And they gave you a gift. So these are the few of my favorite things. That's 2 beers, 1 cup. Check it out on Twitter at 2 beers, 1 cup. Enjoy vontrappbrewing.com. Check it out. Seriously, they got a lot to offer no matter what you're looking for. It's some good stuff. 2 beers, 1 cup. I am out.
Want more 2 beers, 1 cup? Follow us on Twitter at 2 beers, 1 cup and suggest what kind of beers we should review on the show. We figure it's part of our civic duty. Hey, we're here to serve you.
That's it. I'm out.